Hi there, it's Emma from Emma's Cards and Papercrafts. Today we are hopping with Stamp Around UK and the theme is tone on tone stamping. So I've actually got a few new things to use for today's project. I've pulled out the beautiful Ordinary Life Designer Series paper and also the black die cut ephemera. I can't exactly remember what it's called, but it's part of the same suite, and I've just popped out a few pieces that I think I might use. I haven't really planned too far ahead on this project. I'm kind of just gonna wing it. I've got a pretty peacock card base, as that's one of the colours in the design series paper, and I've actually got both coordinating stamp and die sets out that go with the beautiful Ordinary Life. So we've got the Bordered in Beauty stamps and dies and the Extraordinary Life stamps and dies. This one is the one that comes as part of the suite. This one is the one that's sort of recommended to go alongside the scrapbook kit, but it's not needed. But I thought some of these elements like the butterfly and the things like that I might use for my tone on tone stamping. Possibly even the flower for the background. So my idea was to stamp on the Pretty Peacock, if that makes sense. And either use the butterfly or flower or both of them for the background stamping. And then I can't show you just yet because I'm filming this ahead of the catalogue, and this video goes live ahead of the catalogue going live. And the catalogue goes live on the 5th of May, and this video will go out on the 1st of May. So unfortunately I can't show you inside, but there is a project inside that's sort of like a layered up collagey kind of image that I'm going to take my inspiration from and build up my card. This might not be a quick video because I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting here and there, but I'll probably cut that out so you don't have to watch the boring bit. And I'll try and get this video down as small as possible, but let you see everything and all of the process. But this is the first time I've crafted in quite a while, because I think the last hop I did was February or March. I know I missed the April one because Easter was just mental at work, and I didn't even really get to craft with any of my new stuff. Today is the first day, and we are the 21st of April, and I think I got my order like 3 weeks ago-ish, maybe a little bit more. So I can't believe I've had it sat in my house for nearly a month and I've not used it yet. So that is what we're going to do. Let's get the catalogue out of my way. I'm going to open it but put it off to the side so I can still see. I'm not going to copy it like for like because that's just not me. I like to tweak things or have my own little ideas and take some ideas from one project and some from another project and sort of mishmash them all together. So the actual project or idea that I've got is a mix between a scrapbook page and a card that's in the catalogue. So that's what we're going to do. And I was actually toying with doing a fun fold card and doing it, scroll it down here and fold it back, or even not fold it, like fold it slightly off center and fold it back so it gives it a little bit of something. And I did get the Nested Essentials dies out to perhaps use them, perhaps not use them, I'm not sure. We'll see where this takes us. I think I am going to do this a fun fold card, and I'm just going to think like that much I want to fold back. So like so, and then I'm going to put a panel on the front here, but I need to find some white cardstock and I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, white cardstock acquired. This is literally all I have left of my pack of white cardstock. Just the normal one anyway. Let's see if there's any pieces in here that are... Oh, that looks quite a good size, because I want to add some bits to it. I might bring in a couple of the other colours that are in this suite. So the colours in this suite are Real Red, Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, Pretty Peacock, Pool Party and Basic Black. I'm sure in it there is parts of Calypso Coral as well, because we have an orange going on in there. Well, like an orangey pink going on in there. So I feel like we have Calypso Coral or a bit of Timid Tiger hidden in there. Or maybe like a mashup of the two. I'm going to get some Pool Party to go along with this. Let me just find that. Right, so now I've got a scrap of Pool Party and a scrap of white. My idea is to use some of the Boarded In Beauty, because the dyes make some nice edges. I want my edges like above the white cardstock, but I haven't decided which edge I want to use yet. So let's get them out and see what I've got, because a lot of the different edges coordinate with the stamps. So we can stamp the edge, and then our stamps are only U wide, so we want our panel the same width. So we need a panel cut down a little bit. Don't know which one to use. I quite like these two, like the textured. I'm trying to look. So one of them's like a dotted and one of them's like a crisscross. So I think the dotted one works with that one better, and the crisscross, or perhaps they could both work with that one quite well. Or we've got just normal frilly edge which goes with this one here. We've got the zigzag edge which goes with that one there. The rainbows go with that one there. Quite like the rainbows actually. Or we've got the hearts. I quite like the hearts. We're going to go with hearts. So, I'm going to just get out what I need, because otherwise it's going to get confusing and complicated and just untidy. So we'll have that one. From those, for my edging. And then this one here, I want the butterfly and the flower. Butterfly. Yep, I think that's all I want for my background. And then I need to die cut a couple of these pieces as well. I just like the look of the notebook bit. So I'm going to get that bit out. And then I think that will go with that for now, and then see where we get to. So we need to measure our stamp. Actually, we could just stamp the edge Or do we die cut the edge first and then stamp afterwards? Either way, I'm going to cut my cardstock down first, I think. So, let's get my stamps out of the way. I need to get some blocks out. Today is really... Let's just measure the die, shall we? So 3¼ inches is what our die measures. So that's what we're going to go with for that. Actually, let's cut this down first because we don't need a piece this big. We need a piece about yay big. So what does that equate to? 5 3/4? Should we go, no, 4 3/4, sorry, should we go 4 1/2? Let's go 4 1/2. So that's a nice decent sized scrap. And then what did I say this was? 3 1/4. So that's that bit. So that's roughly the right size to go in there. So let's cut this down to 3 1/4 as well. A layer like that, but with the edges at the top and bottom. So we want to do our tone on tone stamping. We're going to need Pool Party ink, and of course I've just lined everything up right in front of my inks. Pool Party, there you are. So Pool Party ink blocks. Is this one going to be big enough if I do it diagonally? Oh, it is. I do like it when I've already got a block on hand that works for the project. So the die cut size we need to do it points out. Perhaps it would be worth me die cutting it first, I think. So I'm just going to die cut first, and I've knocked you rather wonky. There we go, so I've just die cut the edges, and actually going 3 1/4 inches was a smidge too much. So I'd say it would be more like 3 1/8. So I'm going to trim those edges down so that it is the right side and those little extra bits just flop off, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take a smidgen off this side, and apparently that wasn't a smidgen enough, so we're going to take another smidgen off. Apparently I'm being too overcautious. There we go. And now I'll spin it around the other side, and then we'll measure afterwards to get the true measurement, and then I'll make an apron next time. So there we go, that's close enough for our edges. So the true measurement is, I'd actually go 3 inches. Personally, it's a hair over 3 inches, but if you go 3 inches, then you know you're not going to get any odd little edges like that and that. So I'm going to write down and put a note in there, 3 inches is the width. So now we're going to take our stamp with our Pool Party ink. I'm just going to stamp our hearts along the edges. Excuse my head if it gets in the way, which it probably will because I'm looking right over the top of this. There we go. So there is our edges. So our first little bit of tone on tone stamping. So that's all I'm going to need the Pool Party for. We need to trim down our centre section, which I put over here. So yes, we need to take a smidge off both ends. Or we could use a bit of design series paper instead, because we have some that are pool party. Ew, I like the stripes. So it brings out a bit more of the colours. We're going to use the stripes. It's nothing like changing your mind mid-project when you thought you already had your ideas in your head. See, there you go. That will fit perfectly in there. So if I cut halfway between this white line here, so it was between the pink and orange. And then we're just a hair over 3 inches, aren't we? So it to be the same width. There we go, that bit can go there. Take a little bit of white off. Nope. There we go. That looks perfect for that bit. And then we can use our white actually. Oh, all my clips have come off of my stamp sets. I use these very handy dandy clips to clip my stamp and die coordinating sets together. I'm going to use the white to cut out that piece there then. But first we will do the rest of our tone on tone stamping, and then we'll build up our bits and bobs afterwards. So we're going to stamp on this bit here and this bit here. I need to get one more block. So I'm going to stamp a few butterflies first, and then we're going to add some extra flowers around it because I don't want it too busy. But I want to be able to see a butterfly or two. So I'm going to get a butterfly there, a butterfly there, and then probably won't even see that middle bit, but we're going to stamp a few butterflies anyway. Oh, blocking it. Oh, dye's in the way. Everything's falling in the ink. There we go. Right, so that's my butterfly on. Centralize my flower. That's that bit. So I like to turn my stamp or turn my cardstock after I've stamped a few, so not all flowers are going the same direction. We've got space for one more flower. Perhaps I should have done an extra butterfly there, but it's a flower. Lots of flowers now, so we're going to go with the flowers. So that is going to go like that. So that is our pretty peacock tone on tone stamping. I'll put that ink out of my way. And then we're going to pop this bit here. Yes, that middle butterfly is hidden, but this here. So let's find some glue. Find some glue will be the operative word. Oh, I've got a few hanging around here actually. Let's just stand them in the corner of my drawer here. So right. We only want to put glue down the very centre of this because it's only going to stick to this flap. So I'm just going to hold that a second, make sure it's straight though. And then, so these are the few black cutouts I've got. I've got a flower which I'm going to pop all the teeny tiny bits out of it, because there's lots of teeny tiny bits, and these are actually really good thick black card that they're made from. They're not flimsy. I wouldn't go as far as saying they're like chipboard, but they're like good sturdy cardboard. I'm gonna need to find a pokey tool. My cut's been buried. My pokey tool is there, just to get these little circles up the middle. Got half of them. They still stick at the back once you've pushed them through. There's one stubborn one there. Try pushing it the other way. There we go, he's gone. So we've got a flower and a couple of leaves, because we always need leafage. And that's all of our rubbish pieces there. So the idea is I'm going to cut out this notepad style piece, and that will go on here, and then I'm going to layer my flowers and florally pieces with it. So I'm just going to die cut this, and I'll be right back with you. So there we go, there's that piece die cut. Now let's see how our layers are layering. Should have got a bone folder on that, but I didn't. So, fingers are not working. So I want this like this. One. Oh, come on. Oh, we've missed a little bit of black from that one. Another bit there too. So that is my thinking. I think that's what we're going to go with. Let's find some dimensionals. So we are, by choice, we are down to using dregs, because we don't waste dimensionals ever. So we cut them to little pieces and we make them last. These need to be snipped. That one like that. Now I need to attach these. I want them up top, so we've got enough to see the whole of our flower down here. Perhaps we should have them round that way. Right, so only these 3 leaves need some glue on, because otherwise it will show through the card. And the black bits haven't popped out of these as well. And now I can't decide which way round I want it to go that way. So yeah, those 3 bottom leaves. So a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one, a little bit here. Some teeny tiny dabs on the stem. that one. And then this one is also only really going to be bottom leaves. Okay, that's probably the best I can do. And then the flower, but sticking the flower down is going to be the fun part because there's no real big spots to put plenty of glue on. So we're just going to go in all the little corners and edges with teeny tiny dots. Even though Tombow Dry is clear, I still don't like the look of gluey bits on my project because it has that sort of sheen to it. And let's get some tweezers to pick this up because otherwise I'm going to get glue absolutely everywhere. Which way do I want my flower? A bit like this. It's only got little dabs of glue, so I'm just going to hold that in place for a minute. There we go, and then let's find the shinies that go with this. Sweet. What colours are they? Array of dots they're called. There we go, array of dots. So these actually come in all of the colours. I like 4 of the colours. Obviously we've got to go with at least one pretty peacock because that's our main colour. We're going to go with, oh, I should use tweezers for these as well. A couple pool party, different sizes. And I think we'll stick with 3 as the magic number. There we go. So let's try and keep this somewhat organised. There's that. And then I just want to cut a white inside for my card. Now let's find some white cardstock. I'm going to put my card to one side, not near any inky stamps. So we need this to be 10 centimetres wide, and then a hair under 14.5. So I'm really sorry if I confuse people. I work in centimetres for certain things like card sizes and then inches for other things. I just find it a lot easier. And actually we're going to have a couple of butterflies and flowers stamped on our white inside. So normally I would go on my outer bottom corner, but that's going to be shown out here, so I think I'm going to go on my inner bottom corner here. Not that I don't want it to show, I just want the front to have its moment rather than the inside peeking out, taking all of the limelight. So we're not afraid of stamping over the edge of our cardstock. So I always use a little bit of a sheet or something just so it protects my work surface a little bit. Other times when I'm crafting and my mind is just oblivious, I just stamp on the desk and it wipes straight off because it's like a melamine desk, so it just wipes straight off. Right, and now I've got inky fingers, and before I touch the white cardstock I'm going to make sure I've wiped off as much as I possibly can because I hate having finger smudges all over the inside. Okay. I'm not going to stamp a sentiment inside because I like to add my sentiments when I use a card, because different cards for different people. What suits one person might not suit another. So I like to pick the card for the person and then add the sentiment. So whether it's birthday, just a note or something like that, and add that afterwards. So let's just square this up. There we go. And there is my finished card. So we've got the Pool Party tone on tone stamping, and we got the Pretty Peacocks tone on tone stamping, two of which are my favourite, like in my top 5 favourite colours of Stampin' Ups. So I really enjoyed making this project. As soon as I seen this card Science Series paper had Pretty Peacock in it, I knew that it was this one I was going to be using today for my tone on tone stamping. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing my project. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the creative process rather than planning a card. I think I craft better when I just craft on the fly. I don't like to sit and think about things too much before I go ahead and make my project. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. All of the links to everybody's projects will be in my description box if you want to hop down and see everybody else's lovely projects with their tone on tone stamping. And I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.